Hey guys, Paulo Synthmania. March 15, 2019, we are here in Treppendorf, Germany at the Thomann Synth Reactor event. Here with Cenk with Elektron. Hi Cenk.
Hello. Hi.
Nice to be here.
Pleasure being with you here. It's an honor actually. It's very nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah.
And you have 3 really cool machines, and I've never featured Elektron on my channel yet, so this is going to be like an introductory video. And Cenk has 3 really cool pieces of equipment here. We have an 8-voice sampler here and a 4-track FM synthesizer, 8-track sampler here. And this one you were mentioning, this is a 6-track sample playback unit.
Yeah, that's our latest addition to the Elektron gang.
Yes. Yeah. And I tried this on NAMM last year, and I was blown away with the sound. So looking forward to you showing what these babies can do.
Yeah, I mean that's one of my favorite things to do in this life, talking about these machines. I can do that all the time.
Sure.
But so as you said, the Digitakt is an 8-track sampler unit. All of these units have the Elektron sequencer.
Yeah.
And all of these units can be seen as like a standalone box where you can actually create pretty much done tracks.
Complete compositions.
Yeah, totally. I believe in that. I think it's very possible. Even with the latest edition with the model samples, I think it's totally possible to come up with proper sounding mixes and a composition that can be transferred.
6
recorded.
tracks is really a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And especially when you have the Elektron sequencer, which will come. Yeah. So with the Digitakt, I think we released it like 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. And you have 8 audio tracks where you can sample into from the inputs. You can resample also, which is very cool. And also ultimately, well, not ultimately, but quite a extravagant feature is that you can sample from the USB audio inputs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by making use of our overbridge driver. I hope I'm not wrong in saying this, but we can pick audio from the USB and sample it in there, which is a bit unique, I think.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, So this is the samples that I have. And mind you, though, this unit is not mine.
Okay.
This is my wonderful colleague S. He's one of our main, one of the product designers.
Right.
It's his unit that I borrow him. So yeah, let's see what we have. So. As you can see, I've gone through all the tracks. First thing I'd like to show is that all of these samples can be played chromatically. That's a really neat thing, over like 4 octaves, and you can sequence that also. And each of the tracks offers you these menu pages here. The Elektron system is like, it is menu-based or page-based, however you like to put it. By doing this, we can offer a depthness that is kind of like unrivaled almost. Because then you have multiple pages, so each page that I go to, these 8 encoders you see will be different settings. Okay. And this gives you a nice workflow to jump around and fine-tune your sound.
Right. And so as far as synthesis abilities, I saw the page for the filter there. Like if you go to that page, how are you doing?
The filter page is here.
Okay, filter page, and then you can choose the type of filter. And
the type of filter would be based on this parameter.
Okay.
Here. Because as you can see, if you start from here, this is the attack, decay, sustain, and release. And if you go down here, you will be able to see the filtering, and you can see it.
You got low pass selector right now.
Yeah, and we got high pass and low pass. These are the filter modes that we offer in Digitakt. And of course, you have a filter envelope also.
Right.
And then, of course, let's try using the filter envelope. Play this chromatically. Yeah, so you have a nice filter to go there. Of course, this is total digital.
Yeah, but it's a nice, great, crunchy sound. I like it. It's very modern.
Yeah. You can even make
modern
it more
sounding.
crunchy, you know. You have a bit reduction of that noise. This is
that was powerful.
Yes, it's a seriously dirty machine that I think is very important in today's electronic music. Maybe this is swaying away from our conversation, but I find produce tracks too clean sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's a matter of taste, I believe. And I like that noisy. dirty
No,
thing.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a bit, so it's got the bit reducer. Any other ways of manipulating the waveforms?
There is a lot, of course. Let's have a look at that. I mean, we looked at the bit reduction.
Right.
Literally, that's what it's called. And if we look at this page, which is a source page,
Right.
you have parameters such as tune. You can reverse the playback. And you could actually loop the audio, and this is really interesting. What you're going to do with the samples is really up to kind of what you have in mind.
Right,
The
right.
parameters really allow that. It's really, really cool.
Fantastic.
These would be the source pages, the source page parameters, yes.
And does it have built-in effects as well?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes. If we go to the amp page, we have send effects for reverb and delay. It has reverb and delay. And it can be set to infinite also, but it's got a large decay. And then this would be the delay. Sounds like the delay. And this would be the delay. S likes weird settings, obviously. Okay. And this can be self-oscillated. And you have a feedback filter also. Yeah, the digital effects are really, really creative in my opinion.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to show you is the sequencer actually. So I think we have a really nice music from S here. So we're just hearing this track, right? Okay. So on this step, I could say I want the pitch to be this one. On here, I want to have very high pitch, and also on that one, I want to add a lot of reverb. So you can easily get a bit of a groove going on by manipulating the parameters per step. And one of my favorite things of using this is sample locking per step. So I can just pick some random samples per step. I have no idea what he has loaded in, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna sound funky. Yeah, yes, exactly. That's how it works.
Definitely funky. Yeah, this is definitely outside of the beaten path as far as electronic standard electronic music. It's wild. I like it.
And it's nice to hear that because I really strive for that. That's I believe that is my point of existence almost. Try to bring innovation to this.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you can change the parameters per step. Have each step is slightly different, maybe an effect or a filter. Really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And before we move on to the Digitone, one of my favorite things, which actually all of the machines have, is we have a mode called Control All. So I'll unmute the tracks. Or I could reverse everything. Add bit reduction to everything. Maybe some reverb and delay. And maybe some filtering. And of course, when you're ready, you can reload it by just this button fast. So it's a really cool performance option to mess around with. You can even like bring it even further by changing the assigned samples on all the tracks. So this is what this folder determines which tracks. And if you mess around with this stuff, you can really go experimental with this and do all that stuff.
Really cool. Really modern sound.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, there is more to it, but let's move on to the Digitone.
One more thing. So no, this is totally portable. Does it work with battery as well, or no?
It can work with these batteries, which I really like.
It's better than nothing. Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is my travel companion.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we do not have an official battery.
Okay.
But in this day and age, you can easily buy batteries for pretty much anything.
And of course, you can import the samples via USB, or you can sample your own.
Yes, resample it.
Resample it.
It's a very, very friendly device in terms of getting your audio in there by sampling or transferring. It also has, in addition to the 8 MIDI tracks, 8 audio tracks, you have 8 MIDI tracks also. So it's 16 tracks in total, actually.
Okay, so you can add as a master media controller for other devices.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So you could imagine that you could maybe sequence one of these synths here.
One of the synths, or a plug-in from the computer.
Yeah, and then what's really cool is you could plug those synths in here. Once you've sequenced it, you sample it in here, and then you could take it further.
Oh yeah, why not?
That is something very, very interesting to me actually. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah. So let's
All right, let's move on to the FM
the
synth, the Digitone.
Yeah, Digitone.
This is 4 tracks.
Yeah, it's 4 tracks, but it's got quite an interesting architecture. Is that it's an 8-voice FM synthesizer, and what we try to do with this unit is to simplify and bring FM synthesis to the current, the current standards that we're living in terms of music production and live and all that stuff. We love FM synthesis and Elektron, especially we're really into that, and we always wanted something that was simple and easier to use, and it was like the man-machine interaction was better. And hopefully we have achieved it with this. Personally, I'm very happy. So you have 4 tracks, and this is how it sounds like. Let's go to the other track and see what sound there's loaded in. That's another one. This one has an arpeggiator. So each of the tracks offers you an arpeggiator, fully programmable. And you can get some really funky stuff like this. And then the 4th track. But to make it a bit more maybe clear for you is that I think it would be nice to maybe start a sound design but from scratch, because this is not a sampler.
Yeah, this sounds quite different from this one. This is perfect for modern electronic, glitchy, low bit rate, lo-fi, which is a lot of people are into these days. And this sounds great for like ambient maybe and cinematic stuff. Yeah. So these are complementary.
Totally, and I think this is a great tool for sound designers.
Yeah.
This is what is really interesting to me. For example, if I was a designer for games, game industry, computer games, which I would love to be involved, this is something that I would really have in my arsenal. I can get all these really interesting textures and tones that I think is very attractive during when you're interacting with some kind of entertainment, which is, for example, computer games. Sure. I think it's very, very cool. But if we clear a track, and this is how you start
Pure
a sound.
sine,
Yeah, this is the beginning of FM synthesis. So, I mean, just with the default sine wave, I can get really nice tones. And if I just add a bit of vibrato to the pitch, let me find the pitch. Oh, here it was. Pitch here, pitch all, and I'm just going to add a bit of vibrato. Slow the LFO down a bit, decrease the depth and speed up. And if you add some reverb, we have reverb delay and also chorus on this unit. And I think it was a very good decision. To
Yeah,
have
it was.
done.
I have the original DX7. One of the first things, what you just said, I usually put a chorus and a reverb right after it. And when I try to make, I'm not that great at programming FM sounds, but
Especially on a DX7.
especially
right?
on the DX7. But yeah, those two are the first one I add to the chain.
Yeah, I'm the same too. I think every track or every source gets treated in. Actually, yeah, all my studio gear actually goes through this unit at once in their lifetime.
Because we haven't mentioned that all these three units we are using just one stereo output. So Cenk just daisy changed all them. So all of them have audio input.
Yeah, apart from this one.
Apart from that.
Yeah, because this one goes into the Digitakt, and Digitakt goes into the Digitone, and there you go. I can. It's easier in settings like this. So let's try the effects. And this is some chorus. I cranked up all the effects, so it's not audible, but this is pretty much the best digital synthesizer I've ever was blessed to use, I have to say. Each time I do this is so good.
That was a really you programmed from nothing. And it's such a beautiful sound already, just with a few components.
Yeah, and it's just very, very, very interesting. I'll delete the start again. So I made like a pad sound, but maybe the watchers are wondering, does it do only these soft sounds? Where is the distortion? Where is the gritty? Let's try to get that.
Go to the distortion menu.
Well, of course, yeah, and that is in the amp, yeah. So let's get like a bass tone, a bit lower now, and I'm gonna, on this page, I can assign the modulation of the operators to each other. And this is only one sound now. The unit offers 8 voices, and all of these voices can be assigned to the 4 tracks. You're quite free with this. And what I really like is that you have a unison mode. So let's say on this track, on track number 1, I'm going to assign only 3 voices, and I'm going to turn the unison on for 3 voices.
This does the whole range from really sweet, nice, peaceful pads to madness. It's great.
And of course, we have the electron sequencer, just like I was showing you there. All of the parameters that you see.
You can do the same thing. You can manipulate a single step and have a slightly different effect on it. That's really cool.
You can even take it further and make a drum kit out of FM synthesis and store it into the unit as like preset patches. You know, you make a sound, you save it onto your synthesizer. It's a standard thing. But what we do here is that each of those created presets can be locked per step.
Ah, nice.
And that is a very, very funky feature. Yeah. So it's like the synthesis of the unit, which is, when you're looking at it, it's here, it's very connected to the sequencer. And that is something that I adore about our philosophy that we try to, make with these machines. The sound engine and the sequencer is one thing. We never want them separate.
All these types of sequencers, they look similar, so pretty much the same software. Okay.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier, like I was saying, once you learn one of these machines, you pretty know the rest. you pretty much know it.
That,
So I strongly advise everybody to learn one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a stupid joke. But
No,
let's
no.
have a look at the pattern.
yeah,
that
this
I
is
was
great
saying.
for. You weren't kidding. This is great for sound synthesis and
Totally.
manipulating
Yes.
sounds from scratch.
So what I did now is I muted track number 3 and 4.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to press play. You just playing the first 2 tracks. Maybe I'll mute the other ones too. I think there's an arpeggiator on this one. Can do with this thing, and it really blows my socks every
You
time.
should call it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, something like that.
Talking
For me
about
for
that,
the next one.
did you play that game on Nintendo?
Which one?
Jekyll and Hyde.
No, I haven't. Yeah.
That's one of the worst games ever made, and it's really worth a play.
I have to check that out. then.
Please do so. It's funny you mentioned the Jekyll and Hyde, but yeah, it is like that. It's got 2 sides, the normal and the B side, and it really is in here, I think.
Yeah.
This also has 4 audio tracks and 4 MIDI tracks, just like the Digitone. The Digitakt. You have complementary MIDI tracks where you can sequence external gear. Let's go to another pattern. I think this was another one I made. Let's see. No, not that one. Makes it sound a bit unstable and a bit more like a real synthesizer, an analog synthesizer would sound. But it's kind of a bit of an emulation, but it's fun. I like it a lot.
It sounds really fun. Nice and so portable. This is basically the same chassis as this one, right? It's so light.
Yeah, and then them two here is a great companion to each other in my opinion. Right. Just with these two, I think a person can make a lot of music, but more importantly, I believe that anybody who is into these machines can have years of adventure on this. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I've been using these things for a long time, even the Octatrack, and I still, when I discuss with my colleagues or people like yourself, I realize different ways to utilize these features.
Sure, yeah.
And that's a very interesting beauty, I think, in this.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, and of course, one thing I'd like to say, this is a bit of an advertisement. Both of them have Overbridge, meaning that Overbridge is a multi-track audio streaming into your computer. We also offer a plugin for these devices that you can run on a VSTi or an AU platform, on a DAW, such as Ableton, Logic, or something else. And the whole machine can be a plugin in your computer. Where you can work with a DAW and with the machine itself.
Sure, yes. You can be controlled by the computer too. Yeah.
Yes, and sending the multi-track audio because we have multiple tracks going on in these machines. It's like a production box. Yeah. So then you will want to spit them out individually.
Sure. And as far as it's got everything MIDI out through in to left, right, and then input left and right.
Yeah.
USB, of
Yes,
course,
yeah.
and the power.
Yeah. And they got a headphone socket, which
Headphone
is
socket.
it's kind of the mirror of the outputs. It's not a separate output.
Okay.
Which I would have liked it to be. Then you could, maybe use as like an auxiliary send or something.
Sure.
But,
Yeah.
you can't have everything, but
Yeah.
you can dream of everything.
Well, there's a lot already on board, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and sometimes we ask ourselves, is it too much? But one thing. Okay. So, shall we move on to the?
Yeah, sure. The final one.
The final one. Our latest addition into the gang.
Is the model samples.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Also, I tried this one, and then I couldn't. I didn't know exactly how to work it, so you are the expert here. So yeah, if you can give us a rundown of this one.
We need to turn the inputs on here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's a 6-track sample playback machine. I think this is the easiest way that I could describe this. It's very, it's like a little sibling of the Digitakt. They both are samplers. This one has 6, this one has 8. This one can't sample, but this does. To get the samples into the unit, you have the USB port in the back. And then you have midi sockets.
Okay.
To save space, so that we could make it this small and this light.
Yeah,
it's
is
under 1 kilo. I mean, it's quite an impressive. And this is... This unit is
Portable.
extremely durable. That's one thing that I would really like to mention.
Throw it in the backpack and go to the gig or to the studio.
Yeah, or just throwing it out from the window into your studio. If your studio is close, you can aim it really high, and I'm pretty sure that it will land really hard, make a lot of bang. But I'm honestly sure it will still play, because I tested that. We tested. I literally wanted to test that because I wanted to see this type of casing, which is a bit more. It looks a bit more durable than these, especially the encoders. And really, it succeeded all my expectations. It took a lot of abuse. That's why. Anyway, you have the 6 tracks.
Velocity sensitive pad.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll turn the velocity off because I'm hitting the table too much. So now, oops, sorry, I'll turn it off again. And you have the electron sequencer. But the main difference with this is that it's direct controls. You don't have the menu pages where I see a lot of newcomers or somebody who is interested in this unit kind of get a bit lost with that.
Yeah.
Because we offer a depthness that is, very important to us. So we decided to make a simpler box, less deep, a bit shallower, but very direct.
More knobs.
More knobs, more knobs, and we wanted to do that. And of course, it has the electro sequencer, so you could put some notes in. This thing. I had sequence to. So here we go. Easily. This is the basic way that you would use this machine.
It took you 15 seconds to make a full groove.
And I mean, and it's really easy to use this. I can't say it. From the Amiga times.
Oh yeah,
in the 90s.
Yeah, sure, I've used those.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes,
I could never gel with trackers so much because the notes go vertically a lot of the times, and I'm more used to the linear.
Same here. It took me a
DAWs.
long time to understand what is going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, they sound great. They're cool.
It reminds me how the pitch is done. Where you want to sound. there's like a distortion, a bit of overdrive type of thing. And I really think that it fits in pretty well into this device. I'm really happy that the distortion has that bit of a lo-fi effect. I really like that.
Yeah, it has a different flavor. Like it's not intentionally. It's not hi-fi and clean, but it's got a gritty quality. It seems to be like the theme, but in a good way. You know what I mean?
I totally understand what you mean. Yes,
it's
totally.
a very modern sounding box.
Yeah,
all three are.
Yeah, I totally think so. Yes, and as a surprise, we just added a new feature to the unit. It's not actually we haven't even talked about it, so it's kind of first time I'm talking about it publicly. Is now I was shown on that unit that I could assign different samples per step.
Sure.
We can now do it on this one because it was a heavily requested feature, and and it was done. So I will mute these other tracks here, and I'll put some few steps in. And I will need to set it for 16 steps. Turn the metronome off. I didn't even know if that was on. Put some. Control all mode that I am the big fan. You just hold this button and you tweak everything to oblivion. I really enjoyed it and I reload it back to it.
Yeah, this is a really cool feature because say you made a pattern and you really like the pattern, but you're not convinced about some of the sounds, you just can go ahead and change them and see what sticks, see what works with that particular pattern.
That happens to me all the time with this unit. Because I don't find it as surgical when it comes to sound editing as these boxes are, and therefore it takes me quite a long while to get the mix that I'm used to on these. Maybe this is the way that I'm approaching the unit, I'm not sure, but I always use the control all mode to tweak it, and it actually works. It actually has been working out. The vibe killers of sequencer-based music, at least for me, is that I really wish for some unpredictability, and I really like that. And I'm very happy to say that we actually offer feature dedicated to this. If I may, I could show you that.
Yeah, they have a lot of way of changing the sounds on quite quickly. Just moving one knob, maybe a shift button, but
totally.
Good for improvisation.
We have a chance knob here, so you have a chance of how much you want to trigger the step. I really like to do it this way. Let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna set the BPM to 300.
It only goes to 300. Come on.
Yeah,
Does it go to 450?
I asked for 666, but it's not happening.
Usually it maxes to 200. So.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like steps on all the tracks. Okay. All right. So if you press play, but like I said, we have this chance knob here. So if I press the track button, which then the encoder changes applies to the all tracks. So I'm going to decrease the chance of triggering the steps on all of them. So if I press play, nothing is playing. So now if I just increase,
maybe a couple of notes will pop. Yeah.
Yeah. See. So if you actually, in a musical context, which we can easily, quickly do right away, so we're gonna have a lot of hi-hats, some kicks like this, some snares like that, and some toms like this. On the hi-hats, sorry, let's remove this, put this hi-hat. I'm gonna put the chance to 50% on the hi-hats. And then it would sound like this. Normally it's like this, which I find it very predictable. Yeah, you know, that's a really cool feature. And then you can apply swing individually to tracks. So only for the hi-hat I can apply that. And then maybe for the kick I will say, oh, okay, I want to decrease the chance of it. And on the snare I want to add this type of roll. And maybe even a retrig like this. Yeah. But I don't want this to come every bar. Maybe I want this to relate to the chance. You can also do that. You hold the steps that you want to apply chance to, and you tweak, and then say, okay, I want to have 67 chance of triggering these three notes. And then every time, it should be different. Let's see. Oh God, come on, 67 chance. Yeah, it was different now. Let's drop it down. I think the re-triggering is too long. Yeah, okay, that was why. Do the re-triggering shorter. See, it doesn't trigger every time. And I really dig that feature actually. That's a really creative way to do it. In real time record your parameters, so you can record and play, and then tweak the pitch note. Yeah, and then you decrease the chance note for all the tracks. I mean, this could be like an outro or an intro to a track. You don't really, you know. It's and yeah, it's all very
And
interesting.
of course, the question: can you? Of course, you can record all these changes within the machine. Can it? Does it send MIDI data out if you're synchronizing with a DAW? And can you record the data when you apply the chance parameter? Does it get recorded into the DAW? Yeah. So you can, in theory, assign it to other things from the DAW.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. The model samples has 6 audio tracks. These tracks can be assigned for MIDI also. And that is really, really interesting because you can apply that chance, as you were asking, to VSCI plugins or things
Right.
like this or anything else, you know.
Perfect.
And one of my favorite things, actually, the favorite thing about the unit, that it comes with stickers like these.
Nice.
Yeah, and we got one here to show, and that's something that I was very happy to see, actually, personally. Yeah.
You can customize a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I've seen the different versions with a lot of stickers on it. Yeah.
You need to cut it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, this was great.
Yes,
Thank
it
you
was.
so much, Cenk, for explaining to us what these machines can do. Really impressed by all three, really. And,
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right. Thanks.